All right, y'all. Welcome back and happy Friday. This is the Bluechip Breakdown with your host, Bull and P. This is going to be podcast episode number 10. We have several topics that we'll be covering today. Tony V, we've heard that his name's been mentioned with a couple of major league jobs. We're going to talk about Joey Aguilar, if he could get another year, right, for 2026. Is that a positive thing for this team? How realistic is that? We'll also talk about some things with the team as far as injuries, so on and so forth. But y'all, please do us a favor. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And I want to start off, P, with Coach Tony V. I think, number one, he's the best college baseball coach out there, period. I mean, obviously, he's bringing in a lot of talent. Our team is relevant. And, I really don't pay too much attention to baseball stuff during football season. So I didn't even know, as a Braves fan, I'm a much more casual Braves fan these days. I didn't realize that Coach Snitker had stepped down. I'm sure that they kind of fired him, told him that he has to step down. I have no idea what's going on with the playoffs, none of that type of stuff. But saying all that just to say that the coach Tony Vitello, his name has been mentioned with the Braves and with the San Francisco Giants. That's two vacancies. And, some of the insiders have said, well, we're not quite sure what all's going on. We've heard some rumors from some different outlets and sources that Coach Tony V visited San Francisco. And, I mean, it's possible that he could go visit San Francisco, because we have planes now, right? He could go be in San Francisco at 9 a.m. and then be in Bradenton, Florida at 5 p.m. or, whatever. So hard to tell because he hasn't come out and said anything. But the insiders, they're not quite sure on it either. But I think that he's a coach that obviously we want to be able to hold on to. Right now, he's making $3 million a year, which would be from obviously looking at the money, looking at some of the reason that he might want to leave Tennessee. That would put him, I think there's only maybe 6 MLB coaches that are getting paid $3 million plus. Might not even be that many. So he's already getting paid like a major league coach. It's a little bit of a different situation because college, you got the transfer portal, you got NIL, you got a lot of moving factors. But then in the bigs, it's not as much of the being personable, things like that. But I just kind of wanted to set the stage with how everything's looking. But P, what are your thoughts with Tony V maybe taking one of those jobs in the major leagues?
It's it's not a great situation to be in if you're a Vols fan. I mean, Tony V, he's that guy in college baseball right now, and I mean, heck, I think he's a guy. I mean, I don't know if there's any team in the country that wouldn't take Tony V if he said, "Hey, I'll come coach you." I don't think anybody would turn him down, no matter who they have as their guy right now. So it'll be a major loss, and you just look at it just in terms of anything, whether it's football, whether it's baseball, basketball. The professional ranks, that's the real proving ground where these guys typically they want to go and test themselves playing with the best of the best or coaching the best of the best, competing against the best of the best. So I think it would be tough for Tony B to turn this down, even if the money is a little more, or I would say, even if the money is the same, there's no difference in pay or whatever. I just think, man, and for the reason you said too, you don't have to recruit as much. There's not as much extracurricular. It's more strictly just like baseball. You know what I mean? Now, I will say Tony V, his personality, to me, his personality, I mean, he'd be successful, I think, wherever he went, but he has that recruiting mentality, kind of recruiting personality where he's just very personable. It seems like something that he enjoys to do. And he's really built something special here, at Tennessee. And I mean, he could go to the majors and maybe not work out. We saw Steve Spurrier do it, Nick Saban. We saw some guys really good in college, went to the league, didn't really work out. I'm not saying that's how Tony V would be, but I mean, maybe he wants to just stay with what he's got. He's built something really special at Tennessee, and we've had the number one recruiting class, what 2-3 years in a row now, something like that. He is really building something here. Would hate to see him go, but if I had to bet, I would say, yeah. I mean, heck, he's probably going to be gone. I mean, that's the Braves and the Giants. That's two of the top franchises in MLB history. I mean, it's going to be tough, and those are both great markets to be in. I mean, it's going to be tough to turn that down. So. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, it's great cities to live in too. I mean, San Francisco, I know it gets cold up there, but I mean, it costs a lot to live out there for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Obviously here in the A, like you said, it's a much bigger market. There's a lot more things going on. I mean, I could see that being part of it. He's a single guy too. I mean, think about it. And obviously he's not going to be living in those cities very much. Baseball, they travel just a ton. So he, I mean, I don't know. I could see that maybe being beneficial in a whole lot of different ways. But, you talked about some college football coaches, their transition to the pro ranks and how they fared. I don't know how many college coaches have ever gone to get a major league job, but I don't think that it happens too often, which is why I think just kind of like UP, if he gets offered one of those jobs, if the offer actually comes, I could see him leave, and hopefully he stays. I don't have any inside sources saying that's what he is going to do. But I mean, you have to be honest with yourself, right? Like you have to be realistic with all this type of stuff. I can see it happening, right? Like just because he's still being a good coach, he's still taking care of the players, going through the scrimmages and practices, and still going out and visiting these high school prospects or whatever, doesn't mean that he's necessarily all in right now. It could also just be about, hey, maybe he wants some more money. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, but we did want to touch on that. Typically, don't talk about any other sport during football season outside of football, just because it's so short and there's so many different things for us to talk about. But did want to start off right there. All right, so next thing that I want to talk about is Joey Aguilar, just because Pavia, number one, I'm not 100% privy to all the ins and outs. I know that last year he filed a lawsuit saying that it's unfair for his name, image, and likeness that he can't get the 4 years of like real, true college football on like a D1 level because he played at junior college. So he was granted like this pass up until they could figure out exactly what was going to happen. It wasn't just Pavia. It was everybody in, I guess, college sports period, right? So if you had played junior college, then those years didn't count against the 4 years that you technically have to play, on this level of, like D1 or anything over junior college. So I think that's what Joey Aguilar is actually playing off of this year, maybe something like that. But either way, it sounds like they just went to court and there was a ruling that pretty much like granted a stay on whatever junction that they put out last year. So there's a lot of all fans asking, well, what if Joey Aguilar comes back for one more year with Tennessee? So I'm going to show you all this is because I had to go through and see, well, how many years does he actually have? So again, we're not counting junior college or any of those other types of colleges. We're talking about like if you're playing over that level. All right. And so you can see here that Joey Aguilar, hopefully y'all can see this. I know it's kind of small. Looks like he had 2 years at App State and he's got this year at Tennessee. From the way that I'm reading this stuff, he would, I guess, technically have one more season left. I mean, I could be off, but maybe I'm missing a program or something. But that's how things look right now. So maybe he can come back. Maybe he can't. That's something that we'll talk about maybe in a different video. But my question, P, just because I've seen a lot of people talking about it, people keep on bringing it up. But what are your thoughts? Is this a positive thing for Tennessee? Because you can't just like look at it. I had a whole video that came out yesterday. I'm high on Joey Aguilar. I think that he's playing very well. If he comes back next season, hey, we're going to be in a great spot for next year. But what's the future looking like? I think that a lot of folks are overlooking that. And it's just like they got their blinders on and they're not even thinking about how do people actually, like, how do these players feel about it? How does GMAC feel about it? I think that Merck is probably gone either way. How does Faison Brandon feel about it, right? So a lot of different moving pieces. But what's your thoughts here, P?
I mean, I think it would be a good thing. I do. I think it's similar to the situation that GMAC thought he was coming into with Nico. We thought this would be Nico's, last season, and then we thought next season will probably be Merck or GMAC. He had a chance to compete, but could be Merck, and then GMAC maybe would be the guy maybe 2 years from now, or Faison. I'm not sure if Faison expects to come in here and play as true freshman. Maybe he does. You know what I mean? But typically, guys don't typically have success as true freshman quarterbacks. They typically need like at least a year to kind of, maybe get a few series here and there, whatever, get their feet wet, get used to college football and all that. But typically, true freshmen don't come in and have success. So I don't think that's a situation you typically want to come into if you're a quarterback. Or, I mean, of course you want to play, but I don't think it's when you should be like, hey, if I can't play as true freshman, I'm not going there. Like, I don't think a quarterback should have that type of mindset. So it just depends on how how patient these guys are willing to be. Because I think GMAC, I think he could be ready to go next year, but I think it'd be better maybe if he could even wait another year. You know what I'm saying? Get a little bigger, get a little more used to the speed of the college game, and go ahead and let Joey come out here, lead us one more year. Faison's a true freshman. He gets to kind of see it, travel a little bit, do some things, and then you have 3 really good quarterbacks that you feel good about. If something happens to anybody, you feel good about maybe the next guy coming in, and then the following season. It's GMAC's team. It's a chance for Faison to compete and get that deal. Maybe GMAC's a one and done guy as a starter, right? So he leaves, and then Faison would be what? Would he be a redshirt freshman? So he'd be heading into his redshirt sophomore year. Would he be? and he's the guy at that point. You know what I'm saying? And he could be a one and done. And I think that's how Heupel was trying to build this thing up, where basically, hey, we're going to get these elite quarterbacks. They're going to get 1 year of actual starting, and they're going to have such a good year, they're gone. But hey, we're going to keep recycling this year after year. So, I mean, I think it's a good problem to have. And plus, we've shown this year that we can go out and get a portal guy and have success. Like, so even if a guy does transfer, you hate to lose these star players. But I mean, I think Hubs and I were talking about this the other day on VolQuest, whatever. I mean, you know, is it like how much value do you really put in getting these elite 5-star quarterbacks? I mean, of course, on paper you love it. But how much success have we really had? We've had success with Hendon Hooker, with Joey Aguilar. Like, we've had success with less. So do we really need to even, like, it's I don't know. I would hate to lose Faison, but in my opinion, I think it'd be best if Joey does stay another year. Sum it up.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like, I mean, yeah, if things work out like that, then obviously that would be perfect, right? If Joey stays, if the other quarterbacks stay, that is a perfect situation because they can all end up just kind of like being one and done after that. We have veteran guys that have gained the weight. They feel comfortable within Tennessee's system, so on and so forth. But I mean, like, let's just be real about it. Like, we're not going to hold on. Mark is gone, like I said. Either way, he's probably gone because he's already been passed up. I could see maybe GMAC wanting to leave if Joey wants to stay because he can go play at some other places. He needs to gain the weight, but he has plenty of time. I understand I think he came up, he's probably already gained about 20 pounds, right, since he came up. He's going to gain probably like another 20 pounds, and then he's going to be about at playing weight. And keep in mind, love Joey Aguilar. I think he's played very, very well, but a lot of folks forgot that over the course of the offseason, he was getting outperformed by GMAC the whole time. I think that if it wasn't for that final scrimmage, where Joey showed some more competence. And if it wasn't for GMAC being as, skinny as he is and also being a freshman, I think that he probably would be our starter right now. So understand that with the new wrinkles to our system, it's very friendly. Of course, you have to read the field, but at the same time, the problem, and, P, you kind of pointed this out. So Joe Milton, he was a transfer portal player. Nico's the only guy that we've really kind of built up within this team and, with this system. But neither one of those quarterbacks, their passing numbers didn't look great because our system pretty much sucked. Teams had figured it out. They weren't perfect, but it was more about the system. Weren't real answers. For those of y'all that are members on Patreon and on YouTube, y'all have seen us go through and show you how many people we have open on so many plays. Like, we have a lot of options. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not trying to take a shot at Joey by any means. I'm not taking nothing from him. I'm giving a nod to this staff, to Coach Heupel, for being willing to change some of the things that they've done for such a long time, being willing to put us in winning situations and understanding that, man, look, I love Joey, but I think that he is kind of limited. I mean, yeah, these other guys, GMAC, Faison, they're more talented. So with as good as the offenses look right now, there is a possibility that it could be even better than what we see. I know that's kind of hard to picture it, but if you watch the film, if you break it down, then you can see those things. So I'm just saying all that just to say that if Joey was to leave and if GMAC or Faison, if they have an open competition, whoever wins it, just wins it. They don't have, I mean, GMAC would have more of like the veteranness to him, right? Like the veteran savviness. He's been around college football more than Faison has. But just from like a sheer talent standpoint, like go back and watch the daggum film. And I know it's versus ETSU, but go back and watch GMAC whenever he's operating. He threw a whole lot of screens and stuff, but there were some times when he had to make people miss on some pressures. It looked a lot like Joey Aguilar. We know he has a stronger arm. Like there was a time in, I think last weekend versus Mississippi State, Joey's throwing a Hail Mary, might have been versus Mississippi State, might have been versus somebody else. But, he's throwing it from about like the 55-yard line. He throws it about 50 yards. So that's about what his arm, that's about how far he can throw it. GMAC, Faison, I think that they're throwing it about at least 65 plus. I'm just saying. All right, I'm just saying, I'm not taking a shot, but I'm just saying that, looking at the other side of this, I could see it being a negative thing if we end up losing one, probably not that big of a setback. And of course, I'm talking about Faison versus GMAC, but losing both of them, which that could possibly happen, we're in a horrible spot because now we got to go out to the transfer portal. We got to overpay some guys to be backups. And then we also have to go to the high school ranks. And then too, if we hold on to everybody, how much money is that, Pete? They're all worth at least $1 million. That's a lot of money that we're spending on backup quarterbacks. You can only spend so much, right? Like, understand that the money now has to come from the big-time boosters and donors. Our new sponsor, they're going to give us some, a big influx of funds, but that's taken away from Tony V. If he leaves or goes, we need the money for the baseball team, need it for the softball team, damn sure need it for the basketball team. Those guys are getting paid big. So I'm just saying there's like so many different moving pieces to it that I could see it kind of backfiring. I think that maybe it might be best case. I mean, obviously, best case is if Joey stays and then the other guys stay too. That's perfect world. I just don't see that realistically happening. So if we're gonna lose both of those guys, then I think that it's time for Joey to go on to the next level. And then too, I mean, that's a good look, right? Like Joey Aguilar comes here, wasn't too much of a draft pick, right? His draft stock wasn't too high. Coach Heupel, Coach Halsley turned him into a big time draft pick, maybe. He goes on, and then we let GMAC take over or phase on, and then we can keep on loading up. That's just the way that I look at it personally, Pete.
Yeah, no, I mean that would be a good way to look at it too. If Joey coming here one and done, goes pro, I just think you have to be careful. I guess kind of counting your eggs before they hatch. And we saw Nico; he looked really good. Even going back to Joe Milton, he looked good in the one bowl game we saw. Nico looked good in limited. I guess was it a bowl game we saw him? He looked really good. I know GMAX looked good, and we expect he's going to be good. We expect Faison to be good. But right now, we know that Joey, we know the offense works with him, like we know it. You know what I'm saying? And so I think it's just kind of like risky to say, hey, push him out. This other guy's better. I mean, yeah, I fully agree. I do expect GMAC to be better, Faison to be better. But you just don't know. I mean, you just don't know for sure. And we've seen bad quarterback play, or not necessarily bad quarterback play, just the offense, just not being able to really do anything offensively. So I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. It's a tough situation. Just hopefully it all works out. But I mean, I think we'll be fine either way, as long as it's not like you said where Joey stays and then we lose both those guys. I don't see that happening, but if that happens, yeah, that's the worst case scenario in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, dude. First off, I'm gonna go back to my point because I know yes, Joey has played well, and if you're gonna look back to some of the previous quarterbacks, we've shown y'all the freaking film of what the picture of the field looks like when nobody's open down the field or when the windows are super tight down the field. You have to hold on to the football. You have pressure. The offensive line wasn't very good. There was a lot of different factors that I think it's not so much just about, well, if it's a 5-star quarterback, we can't trust them because we've only seen success with these older guys. I think that it has a lot to do with the system. There are a lot of people open on almost every single play, like wide open. Okay. And we've broken it down several times. I am hard pressed to think that if over the course of the offseason with this new system, because we started this system in the offseason, okay, this is before Nico even left, we started doing this stuff. If GMAC has operated that system and he looks better, and I mean, I don't want to, we know, we saw some stuff, we know. So that's all that I'm saying. It's not like he's doing some great things, but I think that now, because we've opened things up, that these young guys, they can ball too. But yeah, I would also say though that you don't want to just. I mean, it would be great if he could come back, but I do really feel like, honestly speaking, these young guys want to play. They're worth a whole lot of money. Somebody's going to have to take a pay cut, which means that we either pay cut to one of the quarterbacks. They're going to be worth more money somewhere else, so they could go and chase the money, chase the bag, chase that starting time, that playing time. Or we got to take some money away from another spot on this team. Where are we taking the money away from? You know what I mean? So I just think that it would be very difficult. Like we're talking about at least $3 million wrapped up in our quarterbacks. But at the same time, it does kind of help because we know that after this year, if Joey does leave, we have to go to the transfer portal anyway to try to pick up somebody that's more of a veteran that's going to be fine with, hey, we're going to overpay you, let you ride the bench. So we're in a tough spot. I hate losing quarterbacks because it puts you in a tough spot because they're worth so much money. But that's kind of where I'm at with it, Pete.
Yeah, and I'll say this. Last thing I'll say on it is, I mean, if you really look at it, because I think everybody's assuming that Merck is gone. If you really look at it, there was always a chance that GMAC would have beaten Merck out next season. But I mean, heck, there's also a chance that Merck would at least been the starter. So I think GMAC coming into it obviously wanted to compete. I think that he was kind of okay with, hey, I might not get my shot till year 3. So now we just traded GMAC. I mean, we traded Merck for Joey Aguilar. That's pretty much all we did. And then Faison, same deal. He said, hey, listen, I'm going to be a 2-year guy, learn. And then my 3rd year is so maybe we've already kind of hash this out because I think this is what the plan was even before all the stuff with Nico happened. Like I think it was always going to be like pretty much like 3 year before you see the field deal for these quarterbacks coming in. So hopefully they'll stick it out and Joey stays and everything just works out perfect.
Yeah. I mean, that would be great, and that's a really good way to look at it for sure. And there was one more thing that I was going to touch on there, and I lost my train of thought on it, so we'll just move on. All right, so I also want to talk about some things that's going on with our team currently. Oh, you know what? What I was going to say is that with this situation, so off of Pavia's lawsuit and everything else, I don't think that Joey necessarily has to do anything. Now, if I'm reading things right, I think that it's just kind of like been granted for all players. So maybe it's not going to be a situation where we have to see him go to court, which is what I was thinking earlier. So it's very possible. It's going to be interesting. I don't know that they'll come out publicly talking about that. He'll probably look and see where his draft stock is at. If he's third round or higher, I think that he probably goes on ahead and turns pro. But if not, maybe he sticks around for one more year. But also being an older quarterback, it doesn't necessarily look good to the NFL scouts either. He's already older. But I don't know. There's a lot of different ways that can go. But obviously, like we're all on the same page. We just want to win. And if everyone sticks around with Joey Aguilar for one more season, I love our chances. But let's move on to the rest of the team. So several players kind of banged up. Sounds like Don Bailey, he's had kind of a like rough week, but he should be fine. We're going to get David Hobbs back next week versus Arkansas. So let's talk about Mod, right? So with Mod, was hoping that he could get some physical work in this week, just as far as practice and actually getting some physical contact. We haven't really, I don't know how much of that we probably did this week, P. Like, we're probably very more like hands off anyway. So maybe that was never going to happen. But it sounded like that's what he was trying to do. Biggest thing is that he wants to come back. So I think that he will ultimately end up coming back. We'll see how next week looks. But if he hasn't, you might need like a full week of going through the physicality and all that before you can actually see a game. So if he can at least get that work in next week maybe we'll see him in that game versus Arkansas, or maybe it'll come the week after that versus Alabama. But outside of that, we have to talk about the offensive line because Jesse Perry and Sam Pendleton, they have an ankle sprain. They've been walking around in a boot all week long. Not the best thing for the guys that are bigger players. And then you also have to understand, obviously with David Sanders coming back at right tackle, sounds like he will be the starter. You bump Jesse Perry to the inside, and then you move Wendell Moore to the left side. That gives Sam Pendleton some more help. And then you have Sham Umarov who can come in as a backup off the bench. And that might be necessary moving forward. But what are your thoughts, just like with the overall health of this team, Pete?
Man, we're pretty banged up. I guess that's the same for most teams across the country. It seems like our injury report always does seem to be a little bit bigger than everybody else's. I mean, we got a lot of guys that are banged up. I know I saw Perry and Pendleton. I saw on film both the plays when they got injured. Just kind of got rolled up on. I know Perry, I think he just missed one drive and came back in, looked good. Pendleton, he didn't even come out the game. Like, I mean, I saw when it happened. I mean, he didn't miss a snap. Now, obviously, you stop playing, you kind of get off that foot for a little bit. It starts to swell up. You take your cleat off, it swells up, it gets worse. So I'm sure it doesn't feel very good right now. But I mean, I think those guys will be fine to play. It's just more of those ankle sprains are tricky. They continue to reoccur and just flame up on you. So it's something they're probably going to be dealing with the rest of the season. I mean, they're going to be dealing with it probably for the rest of the freaking season because you don't really have time to get healthy. I will say, hey, very good that we have a bye week. You can probably pretty much keep those two guys out. I mean, they probably don't do anything all week. You know what I mean? And so, that's going to help them get healthy, obviously. But I think you look at, a guy like Sham, he gives you a depth piece. You got Satterwhite as well, who could plug in at center for you. So getting David Sanders back, I think it's the perfect time for him to come back. And that obviously gives you flexibility across the whole offensive line. I think you look at the D-line, we saw Jackson Moore get back last week. He was there. He didn't really make an impact. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, he's a guy, I think he's just, first game back, hasn't played for several weeks. We'll see him kind of ramp it up this week. But I think getting Damon Hobbs back is huge. Don Bailey being hurt, I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, but he's been probably, outside of maybe Joshua Josephs, he's probably my MVP of the D-line right now. Like, he's doing it inside, outside. He's getting consistent push. Like, he's not getting moved. He's making some plays. Tyree West is in there. I mean, we got a bunch of guys that are playing well. It's just really some of those interior guys are inconsistent right now. But, I think getting Hobbs back is huge. You can really go back to your true D-line, to how it's meant to be with Don Bailey as an edge guy. And so, I think we're in a good spot. And as far as Jermod McCoy, We'd love to get him back. I think that gives you flexibility in the secondary. But I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm just so nervous for him to get out there. I mean, I don't know why. I'm just so nervous. I mean, hopefully he's fine. I'm sure he is, but I mean, I just imagine. Fortunately, neither one of us tore any ligaments or anything like that. Never had that type of injury that required surgery like that. So I just feel like mentally, man, I feel like it's such a big deal mentally. Like I get scared just thinking about him jumping up to defend the ball, landing, on that one leg. Like for me, like it
Well,
scares
well,
me. So
well,
I
well. I
wonder
mean,
how he
let's
feels
not.
about
I mean, just in case he might be watching, I don't even want to put that out there. I don't want to put it out there, but yeah, I most definitely feel you. But it sounds like mentally he wants to come back, and most things are mental in life. Period.
100%.
If you're ready to come back mentally, then your body has to follow what your mind does, right? Like the body's nothing without the mind. He's in a good place mentally. I don't want to mess with that. So hopefully he can get back. That would be big. I'm just gonna leave it at that because I don't want to go too far into it, P. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, I think once he gets out there and he plays, like once he just like a quarterback starting off the game, hey, let's call run play, let him get hit, let him get into the game. I think once he gets into the game, he'll be perfectly fine. So I mean, and I mean he's a phenomenal athlete, explosive. Like I think him coming back, man, I think it'll help defense out tremendously. Just having him at corner, and then you can rotate guys in. Redmond and Colton Hood don't got to get 90 snaps a game; they can actually rotate, and you can potentially even move some guys around. Like I talked to you about. I mean, heck, what if you put Jermod in there at star? I mean, now listen, Dylan McMurray, to me, I mean, he's been bearing Blue Card this year. I'm not going to call it. He's looked really good, but heck, could you maybe move a J Mac to safety, and all of a sudden you're starting to do things. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, yeah, I'm excited for him to come back. We'll see if he comes back this week or next week versus Arkansas, or if he maybe tries to make the Bama game. But I think you ease him back into it, let him get a few series, see how he feels. But yeah, I think down the stretch as we approach playoffs, getting Mod back will be huge for this team.
Yeah, and then I mean he's a veteran too, so he's seen so many things. And then also like whenever you have a little bit of time off, because I've had like a little bit of time off, not with super major injuries, but it's just part of football. But whenever you get that time off, I think that you take a lot of steps forward mentally. So that's all, and I'm talking about from just like a scheme standpoint, from like the game slows down even more for you. It felt like last year the game was really slow for him, which is great. But yeah, that would be huge. We have some pretty good depth now once he comes back. And yeah, I would love to see us maybe mix some things up at safety because they have blown some coverages. My biggest thing is, dog, like come up and take better angles and make freaking tackles. I think that our star players, they tackle a lot better than our safeties, from top to bottom. And then also, yeah, Boot Carter, with a lot of the like passes that the stars gave up, or with the passes that he gave up, it's just like some simple busting coverage. So yeah, I mean, we could be better there. I mean, we have some options. And I know that some of the insiders have just said, no, that's not going to happen. I mean, damn it, dog. Like we trying to win, bro. So like, hopefully the coaching staff doesn't see it that way. Like, put the best players out there, and that's a spot. Look, I love all of our guys, but I mean, you're not too concerned. Like, we're going to be getting in a big influx of talented safety too. So you're not too. I'm not saying that they played horrible, but they can definitely play a lot freaking better than what they've done. And just as far as like defensive ends, one of the other things that I'll point to is I love what Caleb Herring's done from a pass rushing standpoint. He's made a couple of plays. He's not setting the edge very well. We talked about that in the live stream, I think, on Wednesday. We kind of like broke down that film. And man, I mean, like most of the plays where we're not setting an edge, it's like whenever he's in there. He doesn't do a very good job of it. So I'm almost at the point, and I've said this earlier, put in Jordan Ross over him. You know what I'm saying? Because at least he's setting edges. And he's getting very close to generating pressure. I'm not taking a shot at Caleb Herring. I think he's really good. But he needs to, if I'm the coach, every single practice, all he's doing, I'd have him go run 50 yards and back and give me 15 up downs and then come set this edge and then go back and do it again. That would be his entire practice. Don't let anything get outside of you. And I know some of the times could have been on Tennessee scheme, P. We talked about it earlier. Maybe we're trying to spill things. But that's the way that he be practicing. And if I'd say, hey, listen, son, for the rest of the year, if you don't set a proper edge whenever that's your job, you'll be watching somebody else do it for the rest of this year. Like, that's how pissed off I'm starting to get that he's not doing it. Because it's just like, to me, looks very mental. Again, could be wrong. Maybe that's what he's supposed to be doing on those plays. It's funny that it's only him that gets that call so often, and it's not as much other people. But yeah, those are like two of my gripes, so far with this team. Also, we got to catch the football. All right, so hopefully that's something that we've been working on. Catch the damn football. We got to work on tackling, so on and so forth. But I think that we're going to end up being fine, man. Like I'm excited to get into this Arkansas week, and I've taken a look at them, Pete. Have you seen them? And if you have, what are your thoughts so far?
I watched a little bit of them versus I can't remember who it was. Somebody. It was a few weeks ago.
Uh,
I was watching all 22. I mean, hey, I mean, listen, this is a talented team. We know they got the big time quarterback. They got the big time running back. I mean, they got weapons on the outside. They have the potential to put up points offensively. And honestly, if you look at it on paper, just with what we've struggled with defensively this year, I mean, their offense is almost like perfectly equipped to expose us in a lot of areas. I mean, they got a quarterback that can scamper. They can break contain. They got a big strong running back. I think they got a speed guy too, running back. They got some receivers. So it's going to be a good challenge for us. Obviously, coming off the coach getting fired, we'll see how that impacts the team. How torn's that team, or how much does that team rally together? We'll see. But hey, it's going to be the same offense coordinator. It's still Joy, whatever his name is, and so we'll see. I think we'll be fine offensively. I'm not worried about the offense. I think we'll be fine there, and that's something too. I've heard a lot of people kind of question the running game and why is it struggling. And I think you've talked about this. Well, first of all, the passing game is so good. I mean, heck, we don't really need to run. You know what I'm saying? And third, the reason why we're not seeing as much big plays is, well, for one, we don't have a Dylan Sampson, but two, the splits. We're not spreading teams way out, so we're not getting 4 or 5 in the box. There's not huge running lanes. Like, the splits are tighter, so there's more defenders in the box. That'd be third, or second, and then third. I don't think the run game's that bad. I mean, to sum it up, I mean, there has not been a single point this year where I'm like, man, we just can't run the ball. Like, if we want to run it, we will. We just don't stick to it because we're passing it so well. So, I think everybody talking about the running game not being what it needs to be. In my opinion, it's just because, I mean, heck, passing game is way better. So we don't have to run the ball 56 times a game. You know what I mean? So, but Arkansas is a good team. We got to come out here ready to play, and if we do, we should put up numbers similar to what Notre Dame did against those guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, like, let me just make sure that I do clear this. I never said that our running game was struggling. I pretty much everything that you just said, P. I said the exact same stuff. It's just without those wide splits, we're still trying to get it figured out and how we're going to block that. I've seen us working on different things. That's another part of the reason I'm very excited about this week, because I think that we'll have some things figured out coming out of this bye to help the running game get even better. I think we're averaging like 5 yards per carry, which is excellent. We're just not running the football as much because, P, to your point, we don't have to. The passing game is there. So just like, I mean, if they're going to give you the passes down the field, then take that. Like, there's no need to, beat our heads into a freaking wall. Like, let's just take what's there. But yeah, I think that if we ever want to buckle down, if we got to run the football 50 times to win, we can do that. If we got to throw it 40 times to win, we can do that too. The offense is pretty much there. It's going to take more steps forward. But I think that you're right whenever you say that a lot of things that Arkansas does with their offense, it's not the best matchup for how our defense has played. They got number 4 running back. They got number 0. They both have good size. They both run pretty hard. A lot of misdirection stuff. Their option game. Again, the defensive end. I have not seen the defensive end make a stop on an option play from Arkansas the entire year. I've seen every single one of their option plays. Have not seen it happen, not even once. I've seen a defensive tackle make the stop, and then a defensive end comes after the fact and gets in on the tackle. But yeah, I mean, so our defensive ends, how are we going to play it? Are we going to just take away the quarterback? Are we going to take away the run? Can they, have an impact on this game? But they can't just give up the edge. That's got to be number 1. And then our linebackers have to fill. So we have to tackle out in space. They got some good-looking wide receivers, so on and so forth. But yeah, I think we should be fine, like you said, with our offense versus their defense. But I did want to get your thoughts there real quick. And then last thing, P, let's take a look at just a couple of games, man. A couple of SEC games coming up this weekend. Don't want to spend too much time on it, but man, we got Kentucky versus Georgia. The game's going to be in Athens. I mean, listen, I have not seen Kentucky play, but I have a feeling that this is going to be a game. Okay, I have a feeling that it's going to be a little bit of a game. Georgia's favored by 19.5. Georgia, they never really cover their spread, so it's going to be closer than that, more than likely. But what are your thoughts here, P?
So I watched Kentucky play somebody early in the year, and I mean that's a bad team. Their O-line's not very good. I will say that quarterback Calzada, I mean, he looked good in that game that I watched. I can't remember who they're playing. He looked good. Like he can make all throws. He's a guy. I don't know if you remember. We saw him training over here at GSP, and it was I believe you were with me. And it was a quarterback, and he was throwing, and like we were standing behind him. We're like, man, this guy's got an arm.
Oh yeah.
Him.
Oh wow.
It was him. Yeah, wow. He went to A&M, and then it was him. So I mean, he can throw. I mean, I don't know, man. It's tough for me to see the upset. Of course, I'm going for Kentucky, but I just think, I mean, they're just a bad team. I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, I'm gonna pick Kentucky anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. So let's go on to the next one, man. Texas versus Florida. So the game's being played in the swamp. Both offenses are kind of struggling, and I've already kind of talked about it, but it's two teams with really good defenses. And typically, whenever you come into a game and everyone's like, "Oh man, watch out for the defense," it's going to be like a struggle for the offense to score. It typically turns into the opposite of that. So I've already given my thoughts on the P, but what's yours?
I don't think enough people are talking about Florida winning this one. I know you're talking about it. I think Josh Pate's talking about it. A couple people are talking about it, but it doesn't seem like enough people are giving this game any recognition. I mean, this is a tough spot for Texas. I mean, heck, they haven't looked good all season offensively. Florida hasn't really either. I tend to trust Florida's offense more than Texas, just because I know what Texas offense is. Like, we've seen the film. There's nothing that they do on film where you say anybody should be open. It's similar to looking at our offense last year. It's like there's not really a ton of good stuff. I know people want to glorify Sarkisian. And all of them I've watched, I haven't seen anything that I like. Really, I mean, honestly, I don't really like anything that they do. So we'll see. Florida's got really good defense. I could see that offense clicking. I could see Lagway, because we saw it last year with these guys. We've never seen Texas do anything offensively, even going back last year. But Florida, we've seen them be pretty good offensively. They kind of hit their stride last year. So I mean, is this the game they get it going? I don't know. But I mean, heck, I'm definitely rolling with Florida on this. I'm going for Texas, but I mean, I think Florida's going to win this game.
I do too. I'm just feeling it, and then I know. So I've been listening to some of the Texas shows, which they have one. I don't know if it's called On Texas or something, but I really like that one. I think it's a great show. But either way, they were saying that Sark's been hiding some stuff, so we'll see how that looks. All right. So what else do we have, man? Let's just talk about this one right here. So Vandy versus Alabama at Alabama. What are your thoughts here, Pete?
I mean, heck, people talk about paper tigers. I mean, I think Vandy's a paper tiger. I mean, listen, I watched the film. You know what? I mean, they're a better team than what they've been in years past, right? They're not a bad team, but I just don't think they. I mean, this will be the first real team. I mean, they play South Carolina, whatever. But I mean, dude, I just don't see them pulling this one off. And I don't even know who I'm going for in this one, to be honest with you. I mean, I hate Bama. I really don't like Vandy either. So I don't know who I'm going for. I'm just going to be watching the game, I guess. But man, this one, man, I think Bama rolls. I don't know, though, because Vandy's offense, it can cause some issues. There's a lot of people moving. There's a lot of motion. The quarterback, I mean, he's a gamer. I mean, heck, he's doubling down on his talk. I think he said something like, hey, we come out here and execute, do our job. What did he say? He said it shouldn't even be close or something. Like he's got that confidence, that swagger, and that permeates to the team. Bama's gonna come out and play hard and inspired. I think if Bama can come out and basically show them, hey, like, we're way better than you guys, and jump up on them early, I can see Vandy going away. But if Vandy can get something going early, I mean, heck, this might be a 4-quarter game.
Yeah, so I've really dove into some film of Vanderbilt last night. That's my first time really watching them. I'm gonna tell you, I think that you're exactly right. All the misdirection that they do, almost every play is like a triple option. It's like you got the running back, you got the quarterback's legs, you might have a speed sweep in it, you got a pass element to it. There's a lot of things, but if you can just man up, if you can win individual matchups, which I feel like Alabama can definitely do versus Vandy, then you pretty much shut down that entire offense. And if their offense I think that Alabama's offense is going to put up points. Keep in mind that the game that they lost last year, the quarterback played horrible. So I think that they'll have a lot of opportunities to throw the football down the field. Now, Alabama's running game isn't great, but I think that they'll be able to find a lot of success passing the football. So yeah, I was thinking, man, Vandy might be able to win this one, but the more that since I actually watched the film on Vandy more, I'm like, dude, Alabama's going to end up freaking killing them, which I think is more positive for Tennessee because we got them coming up in 2 weeks. I don't think that the SEC is going to let them lose back-to-back home games, right? It's not going to be obviously on consecutive weeks, but I don't think that they'll let them go, back-to-back home games where they lose. And that's my biggest concern about playing Bama down in Tuscaloosa is with the referees cheating. If we can overcome that, Tennessee's going to win. But that's going to do it, y'all. Thank y'all so much. Hope that y'all have a great rest of y'all's Friday. Please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll be talking to y'all maybe tomorrow. Peace. Thanks for watching, and please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel because that keeps us growing inside of the YouTube algorithm. And if you did like this video, here's another one that you might also enjoy. Thank you. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.